Hey everybody, it's Josh from Big Goose Adventures, and this week's vlog is a vlog that I really, for a long time, thought, should I make a vlog like this? Should I do it? And I finally made the decision to do it because a long time ago I fell off my horse, and it was really challenging to get up. So this vlog is really for those people who are struggling to find themselves again, to get it together, to find the motivation to move forward in life. And I will say that hopefully this video can bring some motivation, some tidbits of help that maybe help some people who might be struggling to get back on their horse, as they would say, right? I um, I can tell you, I definitely fell off my horse one time in my life, and it was a very hard journey to get back on my horse and really get find myself again. And so, and I'm explaining the story, and hopefully, what I want to share in the story, I'm going to share where I was. I'm going to share what happened, how I fell off my horse, and how I got back on my horse. And the tools that really, the part I'm going to focus on the most is the tools that got me back on my horse. And I don't want you to feel sorry for me. We all go through trials and tribulations. So this is not a, oh, sorry, this happened to you. I just hope that this provides some type of help for people who might need it. And we all, no matter what social media says, no matter what you're watching, everybody's life goes through trials and tribulations. Nothing is perfect. For sure, nothing's perfect. So I'll tell you where I was first. So where I was, I did very well in high school. In college, in high school and college, I got academic, honors. I started the speech and debate team at one of my colleges. At the other college, I was the California State Champ for parliamentary debate in the state of California. Bronze impromptu speaker, got Communicator of the Year. All the things that build your ego up really, really high. I thought I was invincible. I worked at Disneyland. I was Prince Charming. I worked in as a canopy carrier. I worked in the character department. I did 2 non-union commercials. I did some print work. So my ego was sky high. I graduated college, got my first job. I was in the title insurance industry. Did extremely well, so well. Did very well. Had a house. Like it's basically the iconic. Nothing. I really didn't lose anything. There was nothing. It was like one right decision after another. And nobody gets to anywhere by themselves. No matter what people claim, none of us are self-made. There's always people who influence. When you hear people say I'm self-made, I'm like, yeah, no. You might not have had support of your immediate family, but there's always people who guide us through our journey of life. And so I'm not self-made. Nobody I've ever met self-made. There's always people who guide us. So get out of college, work in the title industry in Orange County, and then, the gay life down there was, wasn't good. It was hard to meet people. Even though I made really a great living, and I decided to come up to LA, worked for the pharmaceutical company, and then this is the point in my life where I started making bad decisions. So I get to LA, I make, I live in the neighborhood, and then I meet this guy, and I was in love. That's the only way to say it. I'm not going to say the person's name. I was totally in love. I was smitten. They moved in with me. They didn't pay rent. They didn't pay for the vacations. They didn't really pay for anything. In fact, one big gift this person gave me was a used expensive watch. They didn't even buy me a new one. So everything's going perfect. At the time, the pharmaceutical industry was changing. The Affordable Health Care Act was coming. The pay wasn't good, so we were looking at changes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Before this point, my father, who was one of my best friends, passed away, and I didn't deal with his death, to be honest with you, the way I should have. I think I just put it on the back burner for a very long time. My dad and me were very close. I was very lucky to have my father. He even came to gay prides with my stepmom, who I consider herself my mom. So I had that, and then this change in my work environment was starting to happen. They were going to pay me about half of what I got paid normally, which was really hard to live in, and pretty much in the West Hollywood, LA area, you can't live off half what they wanted to pay. So we made a decision. Oh yeah, so there's another thing I got before we get to the decision. So I get a call for one of my friends, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta talk to you about something." And I go, "Oh, okay. What do you want to talk to me about?" He's like, I can't talk to you about a phone." I go, "Can we talk?" He lived in the same building as me. He goes, "Can we talk about? Can you come to my work?" So I was thinking I didn't think it had anything to do about me. So I get to his work, which is in Glendale. So I had to drive 25 minutes over there from where I live. I get to his work. He closes the door, and he's telling me my current partner, who we're now domestic partners, who basically I've paid everything for, has been filming adult porn behind my back. And I was like, "What?" And I was totally like, "No way, this is impossible." And then he gave me the name of the titles of the videos, and it was still, remember, this is over 14 years ago. So I was shaking. I was very upset. I was like, this can't be right. There's no way. So, and I even thought, well, maybe he did it before we met and just never told me. He's like, nope. He insisted he was filmed. He did a couple of videos while we were together. So I went over to this bookstore called Circus of Books, which was the local porn shop, to scour the aisle to see if the videos were there. And sure enough, both videos were there. The production dates were 100% when we were together. And wow. And I'll be honest with you, so like in every situation, you should reflect. Like at that point, I should have just ended everything. I should have said, "That's it. This person, would do this behind my back. Our relationship, we're in a monogamous, we're not open couple." So I jammed. I should have just went home and taken a lot of deep breaths, but I didn't. I went to this person's work, confronted them, and then they admitted it. They denied that they did it while we were together, except for the pictures in the video. He had a very specific haircut that when we were together, I didn't like the haircut. It made him look like he was like a kid. So I was like, this is not my thing. So it's hard to say. Did he do it when we were together or not? I don't know. I really can't 100% say the person did. I can tell you, though, I forgave him for not disclosing this, and then we stayed together. So back to that had to move forward in this. So I don't think, another thing is people try to warn you about things, but not all the time everybody's direct about what they want to say, because I think they all knew I was so in love with this person. So anyways, long story short is we made the decision to move to San Diego. So my father already passed away. The work environment is changing. We pack our entire apartment up, and about 4 to 5 days before the move, this person tells me they're not moving with me. They don't love me, and they don't want to be together. And I already quit my job. I accepted a new position in San Diego. And we only had a couple of days left on the apartment we were living in as far as our rental term. So I was really effed, to say the least. And then he's like, "Go get your job back. Go get your job back." I was like, you can't just go get your job back and quit a job. It doesn't work that way. I already paid a deposit, an apartment down there, and I signed a lease agreement, and all his stuff and my stuff were all in boxes. And I just said, "I'm not unpacking your stuff. You can come to San Diego and get it then." And just so you know, we had a wedding ceremony, even though, thank God, we weren't legally married. So I was really heartbroken. I ended up going to San Diego. And then when I was down to San Diego, I didn't really hear from him again, and I went through all the pace. I went to the job that I accepted. The job I accepted actually lied to me about the position on top of it. So I went through my family change, career change, relationship change, all the like 3 major life events all happened at once. And I literally felt like a zombie. I felt like a freaking zombie. I felt like the lights were on and nobody was home. And I would go to the office and I would bang out sales calls, but it was like, I can't explain how I felt. I felt like I was like there, but not there. It was really crazy. And the weird part about all this was that a week later on Facebook, now I don't think people use Facebook like they did. My ex and this person suddenly were boyfriends on Facebook. And I was devastated. I was like, because I didn't block the person at this point or remove him as my friend. I was like, wow, I thought, how did that happen? How did they go? How do you break up with somebody a week later? You have a new partner, unless in my mind works, you were already chatting, and that's what I believe happened. Is that my ex was already been texting, talking to somebody else for a while, and the move would have ended that because the person lived up here, and so I was devastated. I felt really betrayed. I never felt that kind of betrayal in my life where somebody made me make big life decisions and then I did them and then they ditched me. And I had to deal with that. I also had to deal with the fact that there was a certain amount of signs that I just ignored, that I did not look at. So there's that aspect too. So that happened. And then there was a point when I was down in San Diego where I just quit my job. I wasn't there. I wasn't producing, and I decided I was going to go back to school and become a school teacher. And I went through this period where I was trying to rediscover myself. And then as I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you one more thing. So another thing I realized during this whole crisis, like between my dad dying, between the breakup, I realized I didn't really have a ton of really close friends that cared about me. I used to throw big parties, big events. In fact, 2 of the guys I thought I was friends with for years, who I was trying to always keep my ex and I together with them, they didn't even reach out to me. They were actually hanging out with my ex all the time and posting about it. And one of them was a dentist. And I was the one who was referring patients to this dentist. And my ex didn't even go to that dentist themselves. So it was really crazy. And then the dentist, who were named nameless because I'm not interested in that kind of thing, but called me for my appointment when I was in San Diego, and I called them back and I actually asked to speak to my ex-friend. I said, you seriously are effing calling me for a dental appointment? You didn't even effing call me to see how I was doing after the breakup. Instead, you're hanging out with my ex. I didn't once hear from you. Anyways, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with people. The friend who told me about the one doing porn, I reflected on it later. I was like, why did he tell me at his work? How come he couldn't tell me? How come I couldn't just walk to his house? Why did he make me drive across town? That could be quite dangerous. So I really felt isolated. I did have some really good friends. I realized who my friends were during that period, right? Adversity doesn't define people. Adversity reveals who people's characters are. And during my adversity, I recognized I only really had a handful of real friends. I didn't really have this big group that I thought I had. So I was in the teaching program, and we're getting into it. We're going to get to the point of how you regain yourself. I was in the teaching program, and then I decided why am I here? I wanted to teach like for mastery. They're not teaching they're teaching for test taking because there's no child left behind. So I decided to leave the program and go back to sales. And so this is the point where I started finding myself again. So like, how do you find yourself? Like when you go through all these things, and I'm sure some of you are watching this who made it to this 14-minute mark, how do you find yourself? Like how do you gain that strength? And I started focusing on my little wins daily. So I went back to the little things. In the old days, I never focused on like, oh, something happened wrong. I wouldn't focus on that so much. I just started focusing on all my successes. I started focusing on the moment, the things I could control and be successful at. I wasn't focused on tomorrow, the week after. I was literally focused on the moment and making sure that moment I did everything I could in that moment. I was present in the moment. I I dwelled on my wins, and I started dwelling on the successes I had and on the regrets I had. And that really is the key to that really help me get my ego back, get my sense of self back, make me realize that everybody goes through, period trials and tribulations, and mine is no worse, no better, no more dramatic. They're all dramatic, no matter who you are. But the key that brought me back to finding me, to find that person that always wanted to just do well at whatever I did, was I stopped focusing on my successes. I started dwelling on the past. And so the moral, and there's people who helped me. It wasn't just me alone. I didn't do all by myself. Nobody does anything by myself. I have mentors, work mentors that helped me rediscover this, friends that helped me rediscover this. My cousin, he made me do a tournament in San Diego because unfortunately, I got into a few fights in my life, and he wanted to see how good I was, and I silver medaled at No-Gi Reels in 2011 in the blue belt light heavyweight division. Even though I don't really train in that, he knows I just fought a lot. And that was a win. Like those little wins, that was like, oh, I silver medal. I didn't even try. I was still in that phase at that time where I was like, I'd rather go out and have drinks with my friends instead of going into training. But when I won, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a winner. I forgot. So when you are struggling, when you are down, you have to start looking in your windshield, control the things in front of you, the little things, the things that you can control today. Stop looking in your rearview mirror. That was the main thing that I realized during this whole thing, was that I had spent a lot of time reflecting on the past. Like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I? Well, how come? Why? All the whys, all the looking back. When we're young, in our 20s, most people just look forward. They can make all kinds of mistakes and look forward. But as we get older, we tend to reflect a lot more. And so one of the things that helped me move forward and get back into my strength and realize that these things actually made me a better person, that made me more humble. It made me more humble to people who have fallen off the horse. It's not sometimes so easy just to get back up and, get back to the rat race or whatever you're doing. Sometimes it takes a lot of work. It certainly took me a lot of work to get myself 100% back. And for the rest of my life, you always think about the things that happened in your past, but now I focus heavily on what's next for me, what's in my future, what's in that windshield. I tend not to spend so much time looking in my rearview mirror because I'm so focused on what I'm doing now and where do I want to go tomorrow versus why did that happen? I know why that happened. I know why that happened. It happened. The universe probably wanted to teach me humility. I wasn't very good at being wrong. I wasn't very good at losing. It taught me a lot. And I don't think I would change that for the world. But the one thing I will say is that if you're struggling to find yourself again, to get back on your feet, just focus on the moment. Focus on the here and now. And then obviously have an idea where you want to go. Have plans for the future. And don't compare the things of the past to what you want to do tomorrow, because you can't change what happened. All you can do is go somewhere new. So I hope that helps. I hope you like this vlog. There's no person who has a perfect life. We all go through trials and tribulations. And the moment that you start looking in your windshield and stop reflecting in the rearview mirror, you will be happier. And I hope this gives you a little bit of tidbit of how I got back up. It did take a lot of work to focus on that moment. It wasn't so easy, but that's the vlog today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and maybe I'll do another vlog. Maybe I'll give you a second vlog. I know we do a lot of stuff with nightlife. So, all right, talk to you soon. Bye.